What's the movement? What's the word, y'all? Hey, we gonna figure out this notification problem because the way things are looking right now, it's looking dark outside. Yes, it's bright still, but you understand what I'm saying. What's good, Koala? How you feeling, gang? How you feeling, bro? Yeah, bro. Nowadays, I don't got a lot of people in the live. I ain't gonna lie to you. The lives nowadays have been looking real like slim. Oh, Lee. Oh, man. Hey, real quick, I got to get some bad news out the way so I can continue because y'all know I've been hacked. So that's something we've already been through. Y'all know I've been hacked, right? So I already told y'all like majority of the things the hacker kind of like ruined. But recently, probably like what, a day or two ago, come to find out the hacker got into my Shopify store and deleted my Shopify store. So yeah, we ain't got no clothes. We ain't got no clothes, bro. We ain't got zero clothes. What's good, Connor? How you feeling, gang? What's good, King Hammer? What's good, Noah? How's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling? Welcome back to the Flex Mind Network. But yeah, we got to start with some bad news so we can go ahead and continue. Now, if you're looking at the thumbnail, then you're here looking for answers. Let me just go ahead and say this real quick. I am not that guy. Ain't no way he's still onto you. Bro, I feel like this is harassment at this point. I'm so serious. What's good, Jonathan? I feel like this is harassment, but how do I file like any like harassment kind of like claims or whatever? I can't. Like I'm literally being harassed. It's crazy. Is my bank account and shit safe? Honestly, I don't even know. I'm gonna keep it tall with you because whoever hacked in, I think I not even I think I know I said it in my video when I came back. They made purchases with whatever card that was linked to my Microsoft account. So you gotta watch that video when I was hacked. You gotta watch that. I laid out everything in that video. Cause at this point I'm trying to see what else they did. You know what I'm saying? So it's unfortunate. What do you mean the Kendrick's body's full link? What do you mean by that? Bro, yo, Noah, let me tell you this. If it is the full song, I'm going to say this right. I'm not watching it. I'm not listening. I'm not watching until the album's out. Yeah, I definitely got his act. Facts. They got me. I watched, man. I hope I was safe and you can't get to you. I don't know, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know. Cause if he's able to use my card, then he's probably able to see the address and shit, right? So I don't know. But yeah, they deleted the Shopify store. And I can't even get the store back until I make the payment. And the way YouTube is moving and like the jobs and bills and bills on bills, I can't pay that. I can't pay that. Like, bro, whatever money that I got, bro, this is bills right here, gang. This bills right here. Don't get it twisted, bro. Yeah, I got money around me and shit, but that's bills. You know, rent. You know what I'm saying? When you got to pay that rent. You know what I'm talking about? Kendrick better have a damn Jid feature. Would J. Cole allow that, Connor? Like hell no, you're not linking with Kendrick. That's my friend. Stupid. Bills and Gates, brother. Don't get me started. But yeah, the title of the video should pique everybody's interest. But don't get it twisted. I still know what side I'm on. But the purpose of this live and the videos that's going to come from this live is how well can we analyze the other side? So since there's not much to talk about, since the Offset and Lil TJ little scuffle or whatever, we got to find something to talk about, right? And I'm not going to hold you. I was inspired by Yo EQ TV's video, but I'm going in a completely different route. Completely different route. Because I actually want to explore the other side and how they think, while at the same time using the knowledge that we already have to kind of just like analyze the whole thing overall. So that's the movement for today right now. I'll tell you that. And then I got like some extracurricular videos, some things on the side that I wanted to watch. You know, so I wanted to get that out the way because probably a lot of y'all coming in here thinking like, oh, look at him, like he's switching sides. No. I ain't switching no goddamn sides. I ain't switching no goddamn sides, so it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But how's everyone doing, bro? Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right? Hold on. It's Wednesday. It might be Thursday for some people. You just trust me. I sent it to you. I waited on Jid's album this year, too. Just listen to it. Bro, come on, gang. Come on. You really want me to listen to that bad? Hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Who the hell is this? All right, let me see. Let me see. You know? Let me see. God damn, I gotta catch up on messages. I really don't be checking my messages at all. Where'd you send it? Oh, there it is. All right. I'm gonna check it on my phone real quick because I don't want to spoil nobody on YouTube. I'm about to give these children of mine a sweet chin music if they don't sit there. I'm sick. This came out 3 months ago. There's no way this is not official. Bro, this not I ain't gonna hold you. This ain't official, gang. I'm good. Went for a walk, listening to Forever Story full blast, and I got back to my door right as the last song finished. I was so damn happy I walked the Forever Story. Don't kill me. That's what's up. This bitch like terrorists. We can go body for body. I hand you a body. I'm probably a better masseuse. I really don't bother nobody, but they running by me. If I gotta clear the room. Whose phone is that? Is that Raina Rave? What's good? How you feeling? How you feeling, girl? Hope you having a good day. Man, this ain't real, bro. This ain't real, gang. This ain't real, bro. Oh, Lee. So we got a job to do today. And we are going to explore the other side of hip hop because we already know our side of hip hop, like full well everything, right? We know what we're dealing with. We understand what we're seeing out here in these hip hop streets. So we don't need to worry about our side, but we need to explore the other side. And I might be the right individual to do it based on everything I've learned, everything we've watched, everything we've educated ourselves with. We are going to go on that journey to analyze the other side of hip hop, which is, it's funny enough, I feel like the best way to label it is the Drake side. But already by labeling that way, looking at his peers and the fake friendships that's been formed over the years, that side is crumbling. That side is already crumbling. So I find it interesting that y'all side is fighting y'all hardest to take back what you apparently deserve. But at the same time, the landscape y'all standing on is crumbling at y'all feet. That's interesting. And I'm going to go back and reference things in the past that I have said before. So this ain't like a lot of things I'm going to say has been set in stone on this channel. So a lot of it's not going to be like super, super new. But to understand that side, I got to have that official talk about it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm going to be spending my time doing for today. It's always a wonderful day when Flex is on. Girl, you better stop it. You know? All right. The turn-up era is cooked. Facts. The turn-up era is cooked. So, I took a disgusting trip down Twitter to find some clips. So I have about 3 clips that we're going to play at the top. And then the exploration begins afterwards. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it throughout each clip to kind of help give ourselves little points from that side. That is going to solidify what we're going to talk about for today, right? So that's what we're going to do for sure. Now, first things first, let me get the chat on my phone so I don't have to, like, worry too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be jumping back and forth from OBS to the actual stream. So let me get the chat on my phone real quick. Man, it sucks that the notifications are not going out, man. What's going on with YouTube? It's like YouTube flipped the switch. And now all of a sudden, like, nobody's pulling up to the lives no more. That's strange to me. That's peculiar work. Also, we got a Culture United tonight, and you know I'm going to be watching. Over here on this Discord, we usually have watch parties. You know? Now, Culture United been slipping a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I still tune in. There's some wonderful minds on that platform that I tend to listen to, where I can get my own information from. That's my source. You know, it's not my only source. There's a multitude of sources. Every reaction that I do to a video, whatever, that's my source of info to help support points outside of those videos, right? So we got Joe Budden, we got Rory and Mal, unfortunately, with Heineken and Esso, and then we got Joe and Jada. So 3 different platforms, all crying about the same thing. So at this point, let me go ahead and hit this record button, then we're gonna get started, all right? Where we at? Even in the turn-up era, the U.S. and the U.K. most popular rappers were Kendrick and Dave. Says a lot. Known it. Facts. All right. We are recording. This is not necessarily something traditional that I usually do on this channel, but this is definitely going to be important, no doubt. We are going to be exploring the other side of hip-hop, the turn-up eras, like some people in the chat has said. So we're going to go ahead and watch a couple clips, and we're going to explore that side, and we're going to give reasons as to why that side is struggling based on the things we've learned on this channel, all right? So I feel like this is like a checkpoint on the journey to being great. You know what I'm saying? It's like we got to check our work at this point. It's like we gave ourselves a pop quiz in a sense, you know? So we got 3 clips. We got Joe Budden and his team. This one's short. But we got Rory and Mal, unfortunately, with Esso and Heineken, and Joe and Jada. And at this point, like, comment, share, subscribe. You know the vibe. Yo, you, right here in the small box. Let's go ahead and get started, bro.
If he's not.
So let's go ahead and get started from the beginning of the video.
Drake not being great hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Like, things are not the way they're supposed to be if he's not great. Niggas ain't making as much money as they would normally make.
Yeah. Listen, I follow
the excitement, the moments, everybody having like that art. What did Mos Def call them? Target. Everybody having that store to go to where you could get a song for me, you can get a song for you, you can get a song for you. That's why I don't like that shit that Ice keeps saying about
Scary. Yeah.
About he's trying to appeal to the kids. Dog, Target got shit for the kids and for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but
we'll see.
Yeah, but if I'm chasing,
Drake not being
Already off the bat, what we're talking about, what they're explaining, is without this thing that they consider a monolith, they can't support their own. They can't support each other. They can't even stand on their own 2 feet, right? Because this thing has been compromised to the point where they are struggling to even put out their own music and projects. Everybody else that's under this thing is starting to crumble at the seams. The amount of people that's been exposed for fraudulent activities, i.e. bots, for all the individuals out there that's been exposed for gambling schemes or gambling addictions, the amount of people that's had their own crimes catch up to them and now they're tied up in prison. Think about all the people that's under this one umbrella and look at each individual person, and you're just literally going to see how they failed themselves because they followed an idea that they thought that was be set in stone forever. One thing I've said on this channel already, a lot of times, is that every decade in music, there's a change and the sound changes into something else. I've already said this before, but from 2010 till today, there was been not much of a change, if we're going to be real. It elevated, they took the sound and they evolved it, but we're supposed to be at the point where we have something new. And for 16 years now, we ain't got nothing new. Another thing we got to talk about is when they're mentioning how it's this person that makes it great, you also got to understand this person that preaches about fake friends, no friends in the industry, etc. That proves the contractual friendships out there or the monetized friendships. If these two sound good together, you need them to be friends. If these two work well together, they need to be friends. But they're friends on a dotted line. They're not actual friends. You see what I'm saying? What's good, Shanice? How you feeling? To play his devil. Okay, bet. Okay. I like this. I like Connor here. So he wants to play devil's advocate. I welcome that. I happily welcome that. So let me go ahead and read this. Do you think botting could be something that every mainstream artist does and it's a part of the industry hidden from the public? I like this question because it applies to the 2010s coming up. It applies to the 2010s coming up. This doesn't apply to the early 2000s. This doesn't apply to the 90s. This doesn't apply to the 80s, 70s, 60s, and the list goes on, right? This applies from 2010 to 2016 or 2010 to current date. Because the reason why I say that is because the system that was built for this time period, the system that was set from this time and then evolved into what it is today, that allows the bots, that allows the possibility of botting. You got to consider looking at the XXL classes. Low key, XXL freshman class is damn near a catalyst to the botting that we see today. Because you got to think about a lot of the people, not early XXL. We know which class we're talking about. The 21 Savage class. The one with Lil Uzi and Kodak in them. That class made no sense. How are they all popping? How are they all popping? And the one person or the couple people that were actually rapping in there, they're not really popping in the public eye like that. And I'm talking about Lil Dicky and Denzel Curry. Everybody else in that class How did they blow up knowing that they can't freestyle? Because they changed the game. They changed the game on everybody. They made this thing called freestyling. Yo, we're going to take this and we're going to throw it to the side. Because we know each individual artist can make their own tracks and they can all be hot. Y'all following? Like, y'all see what I'm saying so far? Ain't that crazy? I can definitely imagine 90% of artists making a living off music, but to an extent because it benefits them and the system benefits DSPs because it makes them look used. That makes them look more used than they are now. Valid. I think it happens a lot more than we think. I don't disagree, but at the same time, you also got to consider where the actual talent is and who has been either generated or who do you see that you know doesn't have the talent but they're getting pushed. I don't want to say industry bots on that one, because if you're going to say industry bots, then here you got industry bots and then people that you can bot. Those are different people. You see what I'm saying? Ice Spice, industry bot. Jack Harlow, industry bot. But there's artists out there that are not industry bots, but they can be botted to give them fame. It's almost as if botting is in the contracts of today's artists. So I find that interesting, right? I want to listen to this one more time. I want to listen to the first half because a lot was said in the first half than the second half. So I want to go ahead and listen to it again.
And great hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Like, things are not the way they're supposed to be if he's not great.
That goes back to the point where I'm talking about how they created a system around this individual here. They took the idea of Drake and said, because he's the ideal artist that everybody's focusing on, and we can create his career, and we can create, or not create, but we can kind of like manage this career to make it go whichever way we want it to go, i.e. the rap battle with Meek Mill, because he wrote Charged Up, but he didn't write Back to Back. We all know that already. But we can make this happen for him. We can make that happen for him. We can make him win here. And when he does take a loss, which is to Pusha T, we can still shoot him to the stratosphere. That's interesting. So they took this one artist and said, this will be their golden child. All other artists have to do is kind of follow this same pattern. Are they following it for word, bar for bar? No. But at the same time, there's a lot of aspects that you see from this golden child in each individual artist. And if you don't see it, they get the feature. And that feature is that blessing for them to give them their own run off of him, which is where the arrogance starts to come in because people keep using him to win on their own or win their way. So they're using this artist to bring up their numbers, which starts to bring in the friendships, that camaraderie that I talked about before. That camaraderie that I've been talking about, a lot of people need to also understand that's not hip-hop. Hip-hop is competitive. Hip-hop is competition. Hip-hop is us. It's like you're sharpening your sword. We've heard that a lot. We've heard that terminology a lot. You're sharpening your sword being your pen or your sword being your brain, depending on how you want to kind of push yourself. How do you want to push your capabilities of being a rapper, a freestyler, etc.? You're sharpening your sword. You're sharpening your pen, pencil, whatever you use to write. But it's not physically sharpened. You're mentally sharpening. You're mentally making yourself sharp so that when you get in a booth, when you get in a situation where you got to freestyle, you're ready. You see what I'm saying? Oh, Shanice, that's crazy. That's true. Like some artists are famous because of their talent, and some of the artists are straight up industry plants. Yeah. So if you take the idea of everybody being comrades in the rap game, that diminishes the power of freestyling. That diminishes the power of the whole point of having hip hop pillars. If everybody's a friend, where's the competition? Where's the challenge? How do you challenge yourself knowing that you're friends with everybody? That's the kind of like weakness to hip hop. And it's kind of weird to say that friendship is the weakness to hip hop, but you also make friends through that combat. But one thing we've seen come out of the hip hop today is the violence. So that's why a lot of people, maybe Jay-Z included, they're looking at the beef and the kind of violence that can be attached to it. Was there violence attached to Kendrick and Drake's beef? No. That shooting at his mansion is OVO and EXO. Everybody knows OVO and EXO have been beefing for years. And OVO is Drake, EXO, that's The Weeknd. So that was Canadian conflict that happened at Drake's mansion that had nothing to do with flying dudes or dudes taking a Greyhound to come up to Canada to throw bullets at the front door and then an imaginary security guard gets shot. Because where's that security guard now? Y'all, like, this making sense to everybody? Like, don't let people out there on Twitter. This is why I'm not on Twitter like that. I'm very careful with how I come to Twitter. I'm looking specifically for videos. I have no time to read no comments. Because as soon as I read one wrong comment, I'm going to be there for hours. And I'm not doing that to myself. Well, Offset and TJ and friends. But Offset and TJ goes into the point that I'm talking about with the violence. I want to make that clear. Like, hip-hop today, they don't need freestyling. Hip-hop today, they want to be comrades. They want to be friends. They want to be peers. But one thing, when you make the street rappers, these street dudes, into rappers, is the violence that comes with the street dudes, i.e. Pooh Shiesty. That's the kind of things they don't like that comes out of hip-hop. Let's go ahead and make that clear. Corporations, brands, anything that has to do with business, that wants to like have business deals or to run ads or anything, they don't like violence. They run away from that. When you have Jay-Z come out and talk and he's saying what he said, just imagine the amount of deals that he lost based on the violence that these individuals in these big offices be seeing. One thing we got to understand when it comes to these people in these high up offices, they know nothing about hip hop. Let me go ahead and make that clear. Because for somebody that's either talked to people like this or somebody that's conversated with people like this, they know nothing. I want to make that perfectly clear. I bet you anything to this day, there's people just finding out that Kendrick and Drake had a rap battle. To this, I can guarantee it. They know nothing about hip hop. Please understand me when I say that. Because I don't need to hear the questions about how do they not know. They don't care. They don't care. They don't want to care. Because that's not how their money come in. They only care about how their money come in. That's how they heartless. It's only money on their mind. It's only money on their brain. They don't care about nothing else. I promise you. So when it comes to the actual genre of hip hop, looking down to it to its core, they know nothing. They only want to sign people based on what they see and the potential that could come from this. And the potential being how much money they can get out of them. Every artist that you see sign a deal, that's another line of credit started. They're taking out loans on these artists and waiting for them to fail. They get mad if they succeed. A lot of artists today don't got big deals like that. They don't. When you see Drake recoup 400 mil just like that, you think UMG was mad? They were happy. And they wanted to do it again. And Drake, being not the one thinking in the moment, he's like, oh, so everything going to be the same? I just got to do it again? That's it? Drake don't even realize the deal that he's in. He's cooked. You're damn near in a double 360. You recoup 4 mil knowing you didn't even get close to the 400 mil. And you want to run it back again? You're too comfortable. That's the flaw in Drake. The comfortability is the reason why he is failing today. That means you got to stay on your toes. You got to stay ready. You got to stay frosty. You got to be vigilant. Just because you at the top don't mean that crown is going to sit on your head forever. Because someone can take that off your head easy. That's the competition in hip-hop. Everybody going for a crown. Everybody trying to be the top dude. That's the trick. With the Fox News intro. That's crazy. They fund them to keep them coming back to sign again, knowing they won't ever get out of their deal. Facts. Shanice, facts. And they're looking for people that are dumb enough to not realize what's going on around them. The one thing about the industry is that once you start to get smart, they put you to the side. They're like, oh, you're intelligent? Move. Don't play with the industry, or the industry going to play you. Let me just finish this up, the first half. We're going to move on to the next clip.
Niggas ain't making as much money as they would normally make.
Yeah. Listen, I follow
the excitement, the moments, everybody having like that art. What did Mos Def call them? Target. Everybody having that store to go to. Where
you can damn near look at the hip hop industry like a Target. Every section, every zone is a genre. You got your main sellers, and you got a bunch of things that are just filling up shelves on the wall. You can literally look at Target, and you can compare it to the music industry. Isn't that not crazy? That just confirms the business behind this thing. They got the best brands that sell out immediately. As soon as they drop, sell out. And then everything else are fighting to sell off their product. It's the same thing when you look at these artists today. When you're talking about the things that come out of it. And that's the next thing we're going to go into. So we talked about how it works damn near. Now we're going to talk about the logistics, basically. What comes out of this thing? The things that came out of hip-hop, their side, not our side, their side. Right? Because hip-hop right now is damn near split down the middle. We got what we got on this side, and the other side is fighting to take back what they had on this side, basically. Battle of attrition. Ain't that crazy? The industry is killing hip-hop, but there's so much talent around that it keeps it alive no matter how much the industry tries to squeeze it for its value. Yeah, but the thing is that dominance that the industry has, the dominance that the business model still has on hip-hop clearly shows that this is still powerful. You got to understand that when we see Drake sue UMG and everyone's saying Drake is suing hip-hop, Drake is definitely suing hip-hop, but UMG is the one that's still controlling it. So at the end of the day, yes, what Drake is doing is absolutely wrong, especially since he's suing the own people that created him. Also, at the same time, the people that created Drake still got their hand on hip-hop. So even though we all on this side, like, what are you doing? We still on the wrong side. That's the trick to the battle. What's good, Judy? So now when we want to talk about logistics of like why people are saying it's boring. Now we're gonna move on to the next video.
I said on the show, I said the industry isn't as entertaining since the takedown of Drake.
Think about that. It's been boring.
It's not entertaining. Like that's all that I'm saying. When he was rolling around, Chris Brown's concert had all the bitches. I'm not gonna lie, right? But when Drake was in town, it was like a hysteria. It was a thing going on in New York. It was 5 days and
product. Now we're gonna look at the product, the things that come with hip hop. Let's start in a simple area with the clubs. Lil Durk, Polo G, who else? Who else do I want to name? 21 Savage. The traditional names that came with clubbing, that came with the club, stripper kind of like environment. Young Thug. And the list can go on, and it can keep going on. Because there's so many artists. Starting in the clubs alone. I talked about this before when you talk about maximum and minimums. Right? What they're doing in the club scene is that they're trying to milk it for what it's worth. Knowing that that's still a minimum, that's a minimal part of hip-hop. Because this area bleeds out money, it still has value all over the world. Everywhere you go, every city you in, there's a club, guaranteed. There's not one city you go in, there's no club. That's blasphemy. Every city needs a club, facts. Same thing with strip clubs. They're making music for these places. They're making music for these businesses. Because as long as it flows, as long as the money flows from here, artists can continue to do what they do. The flaw in that is that this is dead end. Club music is a dead end area. It don't take you far. If you continue to make music for this only, not realizing the rest of the world still exists, you're in a dead end spot. But because you so famous, because you have money in your pocket and you have lots of money in your bank account, because you have all the girls around you, because of what else? Because you got all the bottles in your section, you think you good. You've been tricked. You've been lied to. And then all those same artists that have their 15 minutes of fame or their 5 years of fame or 3 years of fame, they all go broke. Y'all so focused on the rock star life, y'all forget about what hip-hop about. Hip-hop about the people. It's not about the lifestyle. Y'all been tricked to love the lifestyle this much. Y'all don't realize a lot of the people is falling off you. As long as you keep throwing these projects out, these albums out, yeah, you're going to be comfortable in the environment that was made for you. That's the crazy part, bruh. I'm telling you, that's the crazy part when it comes to this. Y'all being lied to. Y'all being tricked. This is so wild, bro. When you sit down and analyze this, it's so wild. Because people to this day really think they're in the right spot to be successful. That's where the clone conversation comes in. Where you got the Lil Wayne clones. You got the Young Thug clones. You got the 21 clones. You got the Drake clones. Because they're following the individuals. They're following the names that make these places hot, which is going to attract the artists to do the same, not realizing y'all trapped. Why you think Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift? Why you think Kendrick is Kendrick? Y'all diss Kendrick. Y'all don't realize Kendrick's a superstar as well. But he's a superstar that's outside of that realm. And at the same time, he's made music for y'all. So even though he's way above you guys, he still threw you a bone like the dogs you are. When you look at the strip clubs, would what they are describing, talking about Drake, a positive or a negative when it comes to escapism, how does the mentality overall help or hinder? It doesn't help whatsoever. I'm going to tell you this right now. When it comes to an escape, boy, the escapism topic, I cannot wait for that. Now, I don't know exactly when we're going to do the consumer group chat, but the next consumer group chat episode is going to be about the escapism in hip-hop. I'm trying not to use the word because I want to save that for that episode, because to explore escapism, I'm not going to lie, it might take more than 2 hours, but I promise you that's going to be an elite topic, guaranteed. So I cannot wait for that, you know? But going back, no. Going back to your question. How does the mentality overall help or hinder? It doesn't help at all. That mentality of Drake being described as a positive or a negative when it comes to escapism. Here's the thing. For Drake to add to escapism, that's a positive. Outside of that, it's a negative. The idea of the Drake brand and applying that to the lifestyle people are following, when you're looking at all the girls around him, when you're looking at the streams, that's another thing. When you look at his streams are hot, not realizing it's the older albums that are being streamed and not the newer ones. You know? Drake is literally the golden child for hip-hop's escapism because of all the things around him that has worked. I literally just said this. I'm just adding the word escapism into it now, right? So that mentality, like I said, it hinders what I explained before. That's pretty much what I was talking about, because when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, looking at the whole landscape, clubbing alone, looking at clubbing by itself, forget everything else, looking at clubbing by itself. There's nothing positive. The positivity comes with the little rings and the little chains that you get along the way, not realizing you're either selling it, melting it down, or you lose it. That memorabilia that comes with your false achievements, they don't even last long, because it's going to come to a time when you're going to have to sell it, melt it, or just do something with it. It's not long term. There's no longevity that comes from that side. Everybody's living in the moment. That's the same thing that Drake was saying when he sat down with Elliott Wilson on that stage when he was talking about Kendrick, and he's trying to say Kendrick is the moments guy. Wrong. You are. Because the moments that you bring, people are trying to recreate that moment for themselves. A lot of people do it successfully, for sure, but they're following the model that you have set to kind of create for their own. And I find that hilarious. Y'all following the wrong model, because it's a dead end for you. You get your fame, and then you go broke, and then you disappear, and they got to bring in a replacement for you to follow another clone. Damn near on some blind leading the blind type ish. Now, looking at the strip club and looking at the girls, it's the same idea at the end of the day, except y'all making yourselves go broke faster. Let's see what Connor got to say. To be fair, I think music is escapism. I use music to escape my problems. I glorify Jiz's music so much because he helps me feel happy when nothing else can. Well, nothing else can. Drake's music is a whole other escapism, LMAO. I don't disagree. I don't disagree whatsoever. The way I'm looking at it, I'm looking at the business behind it. I'm trying to save the escapism for when I want to talk about it. Right now, what I'm focusing on is the business models and how this thing is being used. That's the main thing to be explored. Now, another thing, perfect that we talking about girls, where you have Heineken and Esso, one thing that they preach is something that also Joe Budden and his team usually talk about all the time, is that when somebody that they know got hits drop, the first thing that comes to their head, does this get the girls moving in the clubs? And they know exactly which clubs they're talking about because they're talking about the strip clubs. Something as simple as that, you can look at the whole landscape of music and see what songs are made for this and what songs are made for that. I remember when I was off live and I was going on Spotify, going through new music. I forgot the artist, but I listened to the artist and immediately, just off of the first 10 seconds on the song, I'm like, that's for a strip club. That's for the strip club. You see what I'm saying? Kendrick music helped me when I was going through my health issues last year. That's so powerful. I love music to listen to when I have different emotions. That's super valid. What's good, Tiny? How you doing? I guess they met the gram. That's crazy. I'm not trying to put my emotions towards the music because I see where you guys are going for sure. But I want to make sure I'm looking at this from their eyes and not my own eyes. You see what I'm saying? Because as soon as I start to look at it from my own eyes, then it's all personal opinion. Everything I am laying out right now, this is not personal opinion. These are facts. This is nothing personalized. I'm literally looking at their business model and I'm breaking it down. And I'm using different parts of the industry to break it down. Because I tend to stay away from that when I look at it from an emotional standpoint. Because that's, at that point, that's personal opinion. And when it comes to personal opinions, I'm not trying to discredit nobody's opinions. I'm not trying to discredit nobody's emotions. I'm not trying to discredit nobody's experience. But that's personalized. The way I'm cooking them right now is literally looking at what they do. That's the key to me. I'm looking at their history of the things they've did, and I'm throwing it back in their face to see where you guys went wrong. That's what I'm doing right now. All right? So let me go ahead and we get the video popping because y'all know me. I talk for a long time. Let's hear something.
Now, Chris Brown's concert had all the bitches. I'm not gonna lie, right? But when Drake was in town, it was like a hysteria. It was a thing going on in New York. It was 5 days and parties here and fashion here and
she was excited
over here. That's how it was going. I don't know what it is about him and the people he brings or who rocks with him, but he had a different type of
He's light skinned, he sings and he raps, and shoot, they put him in front of all the girls to the point where the girls just be following him aimlessly. Now, I ain't gonna lie, when comparing him to Chris and girls, Drake is like you the janitor and Chris is Chris. It's hilarious. But I don't want to focus on those artists. I'm focusing what he's explaining right now. So when he's talking about the girls, the parties, the fashion, many ways people, a lot of these rappers be wasting their money, especially here in Canada and Toronto. This is where it gets interesting now. And honestly, it's not even that interesting. It's just kind of funny to kind of like analyze. Because when you look at the girls, you're looking at the fashion. When you're looking at the fashion, you're looking at the party. When you're looking at the party, you're looking at the money. The funniest part about all of that is just how it's recycled. It's an endless spinning wheel of the same thing over and over. It's just getting fancier and fancier every year because of what people are doing at these places, the kind of things they're buying, the kind of parties they're going to. That's the reason why it's getting more interesting. And the more girls that be coming to these joints, is the more these dudes like Heineken and Esso be pulling up. Because the whole point to the music for them is the women. The women that come out to this music. Now I ain't gonna hold you, bro. That's bold for you to say with your whole chest because you just exposed yourself as being a fraud. You just expose yourself as someone that doesn't know the music. You used to know it from the things back in the day because, of course, being the OG that you are, you understood these things. But at the same time, you kind of ruined yourself and ruined your credibility because of the things you following. You're not even following the right things. You're buying into the cycle by being the voice of the cycle. Same thing with Joe Budden and them. You're the voice of the cycle. The same things we listed on the wheel. When you look at the clubs, you look at the party, you look at the fashion, you look at the women. This cycle is endless. As long as they got the money to spend, that's how these dudes go broke. I'm explaining how they go broke. But I'm explaining also at the same time the process of them going broke. They don't have nothing on My Woman. Yeah, you better talk about it, Noah. That's a fact. What's good, J-Tom? Is that a wild flex? I said that's crazy. What Esso is saying without saying it is Drake brings revenue to the city because of the people that show up for these events. There you go. There you go. You beat me to it. Because when you look at the cycle, and then we go back and look at the golden child, this golden child is representing the cycle. As long as he's intact, this artist is going to join the cycle. This artist is going to join the cycle. This artist is going to join the cycle. And then that wheel starts turning. And when big wheels keep on turning, Cry Mary going to keep on rolling. And Cry Mary be the industry. And when they start rolling, they going to be rolling. And they going to be rolling. And they rolling down the river. Shout out Tina Turner. Yo, I'm dead. I didn't even think I was going to throw in a Tina Turner reference at all. Since when do I even reference Tina Turner? F you, Ike. I remember, if you go back, this is the funniest thing. If you go back and listen to Tina Turner's music, and then you hear Ike's old grumpy ass on the songs, dude is literally ruining the music. With his stupid ass deep voice. Oh, shoot. What's good, Ron? How you feeling, gang? That's the cycle. That's the cycle they're using. They're using this influencer, this top rapper, to start the cycle. And people not realizing this cycle that I'm referencing is their system. I literally just broke down their system in the simplest way possible and described it as their cycle. And this is how it works. This is how their cycle works. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me take a break real quick to say something. This ain't woke content. There's nothing woke about this. I want to go ahead and get that out of the way. I know first thing people going to say when they hear me talk, oh, he be on some woke-ish. There's nothing woke about this. I'm literally taking what you do and I'm breaking it down to show people how y'all are failing yourselves. I'm breaking down the industry today. This is how they moving. But you don't realize the system y'all created can crumble at any second once this thing is compromised. And that's literally what we're witnessing. Your cycle is broken. The clubs ain't working for you no more. The strip clubs are not hot no more because the music's not popping. And because the music's not popping, the girls are actually using their brain now. And if the girls using their brain, that means they're not going to the strip clubs no more. Now you got a bunch of some mid-tier idiots in there doing what they got to do for some change. And they're not even getting that much money no more. So now they created different outlets for the strippers and all these girls, these vixens and models, like shows like Baddies. Like, what was it? The Real Housewives of Atlanta or whatever. All these little shows. And these shows are failing because of how dumb these girls be moving. Y'all cycle has created a bunch of adjacent end goals that don't even work. Your cycle definitely produced a lot of outlets to create different jobs, to create this and that, but because your cycle is flawed, your cycle don't work no more. All right, Tiny, take care. They're twerking with dictionaries now. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. Drake was right. Yeah. I'm telling you, like, when you seriously look at it, we've all watched the videos. We've all sat down for the reactions. We've seen the panels. At this point, what our job is to remember what we heard. And that's simply what I'm doing right now. I'm remembering what I heard. That's it. Nothing I'm saying is woke. That's why I'm staying away from personalizing this conversation, because once I personalize it, people that are uninformed are going to say it's woke content. There's nothing woke about this channel. Let me say that right. There's nothing woke about this channel. Let me go ahead and make that clear. Your system is flawed, and because it's flawed, it's crumbling heavily. The wheel is not even spinning no more. I'm telling you, it's crazy to witness the crumbling of what they've built. But it's long overdue because the system got to change every 10 or so years. It's always been like that. And y'all have been trying to stop it from changing by keeping the music the same. But the people's been bored for years. Hip hop is supposed to be this. It's supposed to be the monster on top. It's not no monster no more. Look at everything else. Watch this. And I've said this before. From Drake's decline, it introduced different genres that none of us has ever thought of listening to. I never thought I'd be listening to Afro beats like that. I never thought I'd be listening to Spanish music like that. And I listened to it heavily. I never thought I would see K-pop come in and just run with such dominance. All these genres, I would never have, if it wasn't for Afro beats, I would never have learned about the different subgenres that comes with African music. I would never heard of Afro R&B, Afro rap, Amapiano alone, which is like pretty much like Amapiano is literally like the literal root to EDM music. That's crazy to me. I would never have learned about those log drums and the kind of instruments that they use to make these tracks. But because of this decline, look what it's introduced. That's crazy to me. Most people don't know what woke actually is, so when I hear people say that, I keep it moving. There you go, as you should. What's good, Quickie? How you feeling, gang? But yeah, let's keep going and listen to this.
Excitement to the game.
And since he been chilling, shit been boring. Hip hop's been boring.
And now
they gonna kill you for that.
Oh, they can.
They said
but it's the truth.
We said it too, but it has been.
Yeah,
it's just the truth.
But why? But why do you say it's been boring?
Nobody who's bringing the excitement.
The music.
The excitement just isn't in a great record. What made our shit exciting was the personalities, the feeling that you got when they was.
That's wrong. That's another thing. If you're saying the music is boring, and the first reason as to why you say the music is boring is that the personalities made it great, you were never supposed to have a microphone. Period. When it comes down to the music, when it comes down to the sound, and you're saying the personalities is the reason why it was so amazing, is the exact reason we got to take your microphone away. We got to take your microphone and we got to give it to somebody that deserves it. Or we just going to throw it out because you're not supposed to be leading nothing. Sorry. That's the honest truth. For you to love the personality more than the music, you are the product that was created from their system. Stop reminiscing and move forward to facts. That is big facts. Looking at that side, the more I sit here and I realize I just seeing how dangerous it is. It's very dangerous to be on that side. Here's the thing. Is hip hop low right now? Absolutely. The only people to blame for hip hop being this low is the people in them offices that are creating the algorithms, that are looking at numbers, that are doing this and that. They're to blame. Those individuals that are working within, that are only looking at numbers to dictate their actions, are the exact poison that's ruining hip-hop. And y'all have been ruining hip-hop for years. Don't get it twisted, though. It made it exciting. What they said, the numbers that they've used, has made it look exciting. That's exactly what it does. So when they look at the things that come from the numbers, the girls, the fashion, the experience, and then you tie that together to the music, yes, you made it look interesting. The illusion that came with the music definitely made it exciting to be around. That's where the influence comes in, and that's how you roped in the younger generation. That's how you roped them in, but at the same time, hip-hop is also supposed to be a bit educational. It's supposed to challenge you. It's supposed to educate you in a sense. And that was the original excitement. Where we're at right now is tricky because we've had this thing for so long. For us to stop and find something else to move forward to is going to be hard. It's going to be very challenging. It's going to be real difficult. I can guarantee you and promise you that right now. What are we going to move on to? I have no idea. One thing that I do find interesting is Miami bass being hot right now. That's interesting to me because that subgenre doesn't have enough power to be the next big thing, but the experimentation around that alone shows that we are looking for something to move on to. So when you see the Baby and you see a bunch of these other artists come out and they got some Miami bass tracks, some Miami inspired music, people are looking for something to move on to. But because it's difficult, because of this unnecessary run from the 2010s till today, it's making it harder to find the next thing to move on to. We were supposed to do this about 5 years ago. We were supposed to move on to something else 5 years ago, but 5 years ago, it was virus season, and we had virus season for about 2 years. And because of that reset, that was put on pause, but we're in reset mode right now after the beef with Kendrick and Drake. That beef was the beef to end that era. We're looking to move on to a new era, but we don't know where to land right now. That's why the shift in music is taking so long. They're attempting to use a subgenre to find a new sound. It's not going to work, but it's going to hold down the time for summer until we find something else to move on to. Right? Let's keep going, though.
In public, when you saw dudes coaching at the Rucker, Drake was one of the few people. He's outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the most successful.
My man went to
superstars of all time
Starlets with a plastic bin.
He's outside.
And threw bundles of money. He'd even
Rucker. Drake was one of the few people. He's outside.
Yeah. One of the most successful
My man went to
superstars of all time.
Starlets with a plastic bin.
He's outside.
And threw bundles of money. He didn't even break the seal. He just threw the bundles.
What did we just talk about yesterday? What did we just talk about yesterday? These dudes, yo. We literally just talked about this yesterday, how dudes don't even know how to throw money in the club. Yo, Heineken literally just said dude didn't even break the seal on the cash. He threw a brick at these girls and said, here, take it. Yo, we are hopeless, bro. We are hopeless. How the hell you gonna just take the bundle of cash out, don't even break the seal, and say, "Eee!" And then you heave a brick of cash over at the stripper? You trying to hurt her or pay her? That's crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy to me. But taking it away from what they're explaining, just look at what the process is for them when it comes to these girls and what they see from Drake. They see Drake in the club throwing money. They think, oh, we need to do it. Drake is everybody's drug. Drake is everybody's it's like everybody's spirit animal. It's like who they look up to. That's their inspiration. They're using him as an inspiration. And funny enough, all of these things are happening outside of Toronto. Can we just say that real quick? All these things happening outside of Toronto. When we come to Toronto now, boy, Toronto very simplified. If you think all these places simplified, wait till you come in. It's simplified as hell out now, bro. It's looking weird outside. But, they filling up the clubs and all that, so it's cool, I guess. Even though the service industry in Canada is being heavily questioned right now. Specifically, the service industry in Toronto is being heavily questioned right now because of the lack of money that's coming into it. But that's what y'all want to do, though. That's what you wanted to do with your money. You go to the strip club and get that little dopamine hit. And then you come out with less money than you had before. Now you're looking like Offset. Outside struggling and shit. Let's keep going, though, since you want to throw a brick of cash at girls.
I rock with Kendrick.
Yeah.
I do. I think
Kendrick gonna be outside.
I think he's a talent, rapper, whatever.
Dope artist.
He's not outside. Nobody's outside. Like, nobody.
But you guys are from an outside era.
All right.
These kids are inside.
Cardi.
When I look at the fans of rap today, the only question that comes to my mind is that, do y'all need a monolith? Do y'all really need a monolith, bruh? You need someone to really, to use as the elite tier for you to do what you want to do? Do you desire that bad? It's like you want to be lied to. That's what I'm looking at today, and that's what I'm realizing. Like, y'all want to be lied to, bruh. I find that fishy. Rory and Mal is so weird, we know. But I find that fishy for real, because it's like, what do you want to come out of this thing? What is the most important thing that you want? And the simple answer that they're going to give is that they want their experience back. But what you're not understanding is that you burnt out your experience. What's happening outside right now to the clubs, like service industry in general, y'all burnt yourselves out because y'all been doing the same thing for years. It's not that the Kendrick beef ended everything. Is that y'all got bored. And now that you're bored, you miss your fun. It's not that hip hop is boring. It's that you're bored. That's the conclusion out of all of this. That's the conclusion to this topic. Hip hop is not boring. You're the one that got bored of doing the same thing over and over. You go to the club and drink the same drink. Be around the same girls that all look alike, regardless of what their color is. They doing the same nasty shit in the bathroom. Or nasty shit when you take them home. They all doing the same thing. Everybody burnt out. But at the same time, you burnt out, but you miss your fun. That makes zero sense. That's the conclusion. That's weird to me. That's strange to me. You're going to say this thing is boring, but you're going to show up every time somebody drops something. And the first thing you say, this ain't going to get the girls moving in the clubs. This ain't going to get the girls moving in the strip clubs. The only reason why they love the music that they love is what they see the girls do when they're lit and acting freaky. I know how these dudes move because I'm security guard for these dudes, especially when I'm in Toronto. That's the only reason why y'all love what y'all love. You're not even paying attention to the lyrics. You're paying attention to what the girls be doing when they hear the lyrics. The Baby alone with Pop That Thing. The beginning of the song, like the first couple seconds in the song before the beat even drops. Pop that thing, let it clap, let it clap. Ride this when I sit on your lap. Spread them cheeks when you shake that ass when you out of. Suck that thing till your throat gets sore. That's the beginning of the song. That's the beginning of the song. The beginning of that song applies to what they love. That's why we got Diddy. That's why we got all these freak dudes. Y'all freaked out. Diddy in jail. Some people want Diddy to come home. Some people standing up for Diddy. Y'all freaked out. Y'all freaked out. You need your monolith to keep yourselves being freaky or something. That's strange to me. Every platform that says this be on some freaky timing. What's good, Tiff? Hey, Tiff, make sure, hey, we got to make sure we wish Tiff a get well soon, all right? Tiff, please get better. Take your time, relax. Drink some tea, drink some water, get some soup if you need to. You know, sit back, relax your body. Your body needs to recover. So I wish you a healthy recovery, a successful recovery. All right? You know where you going to find us. We're going to be right here in the small box, all right? So you ain't have to worry about us, but I want to make sure that you get better. Okay? Get well soon. Just hope you get your rest, because you need rest, all right? You working hard. We know you working hard. All right? So get your rest. Do what you got to do. Get your rest. Feel better. And you know where you're going to find us, all right? So get well soon, for real. There you go. Get well soon, Auntie Tiff. Said from Connor himself. Security guard said, there you go. There you go. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Love to see it. Love to see the support for sure. You know, we support each other. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing that's dope about this hip-hop community. We support each other. Am I right? Hell yeah, bro. But yeah, man. These dudes are freaked out for real. It's crazy to see. So now, the last one, Fat Joe says Drake is one of the main reasons why hip-hop was able to stay in the top 40 for the Billboard Hot 100 for the past 10 years. That's the influence that comes with it. Influence-wise, that's valid, but what comes with that influence is the real part of the equation. So let's go ahead and listen to this real quick.
And so, you know, when they eliminated Drake off the charts, You know, they went on that full court
I don't
press.
think they eliminated him. I think he just chilled. I think he chilled.
Yeah,
I think
but
he
he
gonna
chilled.
come back.
He ain't
I
chilled
think he
for like
gonna
10
come back and massive destructive takeover again.
No, I agree 1,000,000,000%. But what I'm saying for right now, you know, you realize that Drake was probably keeping us in that top 40 for fucking 5, 10 years. Like every record he made was going number one. So it's like any records he made was going number one. I think he battling Michael Jackson for the most number ones. So he was on that. He was on that. And so, you know, when they eliminated Drake.
Y'all want to hear it again?
Off the charts. You know, they went on that full court
I don't
press.
think they eliminated him. I think he just chilled. I think he chilled. I
Yeah,
think
but
he
he
gonna
chilled.
come
He
back.
ain't
I
chilled
think
for
he
like
gonna
10
come back and massive destructive takeover again.
No, I agree 1,000,000,000%. But what I'm saying for right now, you know, you realize that Drake was probably keeping us in that top 40 for fucking 5, 10 years. Like every record he made was going number one. So it's like any records he made was going number one. I think he battling Michael Jackson for the most number ones. So he was on that. He was on that. And so, you know, when they eliminated
Everything Drake did was to himself, gang. Everything Drake did to himself. When it comes to the beef, he did to yourself. When it comes to a lawsuit, you did to yourself. When it comes to you, like, acting like you all tough and everything, knowing that this beef bothers your spirit, you did it to yourself. Everything in that beef with Kendrick, Drake did it to himself. We need to get that out the way right now. Let's go ahead and take that and put it on the Rushmore. That's an undenying fact. Drake did it to himself. Period. Kendrick warned you, bro. He gave you 3 warnings. And here's the thing how this is how you reverse like the whole like waiting on Kendrick moment. And Kendrick immediately flipped it back on Drake like, yes, you had your fun. All right, you dropped Tailor Made and you dropped Push-Ups and I gave you 2+ weeks. And then I warned you twice. And I did a back-to-back and warned you again. And you still didn't listen. I said, keep it friendly. Don't tell no lie about me, and I won't tell a truth about you. He warned you, and you still didn't listen. Now look at you. You got an arrogant king in a tiny castle, sitting on top of the world, thinking he's untouchable. You thought your opponent was weak because they don't drop music all the time. You're so far removed, you don't realize that was how people saw TDE. What does that mean? What does that show? That shows you didn't even do your own research on your opponent. You relied on the internet to provide you information on your opponent. TDE dropping takes forever. It takes them 4 or 5 years. That's internet talk. That's internet talk. TDE Punch came out and talked about that a couple of weeks ago. That's internet talk. You kept everything you jabbed about on the internet. It's already been said. So what Kendrick did was just throw it back in your face. The same things you go on the internet and see here, I can do the same. But at the same time, I don't need to do research because people be putting it on my front doorstep. King of what? Well, Toronto. What happened to you, Jada? You was meant to be a legend. Apparently, I was actually alive when you was relevant. That's crazy. That's pod talk. That's another thing that's a product of their system is the podcasts. They're using the podcast as the main source of entertainment now. That's why you see podcasts on Netflix. They take the podcast idea and said, we can put that on a pedestal. We can make that our undeniable entertainment. Then you see all the ghetto ratchet podcasts out there. People love that shit. People love that. They think that's entertaining. They think that's fun. That's simply a product of their hip-hop. Remember when I was talking about our culture and the culture they created from our culture? The culture they created from our culture, or the monoculture, is the result of what we've seen come from that cycle. The king of mediocrity is hilarious. But yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to, bro. Like I said, everything I'm saying, everything I'm talking about, we've already talked about this before. We already watched the videos about these things before. I'm not making things up, or I'm not pulling things out my ass. This is actual shit we've learned. If you want to talk about the gambling shit, we can talk about the gambling shit. And we talk about how they use influential marketing to kind of persuade the younger generation into being gambling addicts. We can go down that route. And now Steak and them are getting sued with civil RICOs. Multiple RICOs. And they're trying to battle them. And then they're trying to go through this appeal. And you got experts coming out talking about how y'all literally started the battle. Like That is not Kendrick's song. If you're sitting there and you're assuming that Like That is his song, that only shows Kendrick's influence. That only shows Kendrick's dominance. That's it. That's all it's coming down to. So you're hating on Kendrick while acknowledging how powerful he is. That makes y'all look slow to me. That's crazy. Who dropped the first diss track between Drake and Kendrick? Drake, and he dropped 2. When people saw Drake went back to back, everyone thought Kendrick was finished. Everybody on HipHopMedia thought he was finished. But y'all sitting there saying everybody loves Kendrick. Yeah, we love him now. And if we loved him before, we really love him now. But we love him for the fact of we love him for the fact of whose ass he whooped and how bad that ass whooping was. That's our entertainment. It's not our fault the king dethroned himself for not trying hard enough in the battle. That battle was an era-ending battle, plain and simple. Plain and simple. Drake having a song called Laugh Now Cry Later is too funny. It's crying time lottery. That's hilarious, bro. But nah, let's just like go through everything. Like, let's like summarize real quick. When you just look at the monetized friendships, when you look at the zero moments that they see and a problem, and then the reality that they're facing, y'all going through the stages of grief at this point, bro. Y'all going through the stages of grief. Everything we talked about looks like this side of hip hop is going through the stages of grief. Y'all grieving. Y'all grieving for a fix. Y'all grieving to see y'all king come back. Y'all grieving for this. Y'all grieving for that. Y'all in pain. Y'all in pain, bro. Everybody's sitting there just like, come on, bro. Please, we need that album, bro. We need it. You're the only one that can do it. Says who? Since when does hip-hop need to rely on one person knowing that there's thousands, millions of people we can rely on? How? It never made sense to me to rely on one person. That never made sense to me. One person can't win you a war, no matter how strong they is. You need a whole team. You need your own army to win this war. And y'all rely on one person. Y'all are fiends. Y'all are crack addicts. And y'all need y'all crack. And y'all crack is Aubrey. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me, bro. I'm telling you. Like, I find it interesting that, what we're witnessing right now with the crumble of this side of hip-hop, y'all showing y'all intelligence. Because none of y'all make sense. Not a single one of y'all makes sense whatsoever. This whole time, for the past 2 years, we've never seen not one person on that side be remotely intelligent. Y'all are literally crumbling, bro. That's seriously a problem. How's it over here? We're fine and we're enjoying the music we getting. But over on y'all side, y'all are just in pain. How? That's crazy to me, bro. That's crazy. So look, like I said, the conclusion that came from this is hip-hop is not boring. Y'all are bored. Y'all are bored and y'all begging for your fun back. There's no other else way I can put it. Y'all are bored. If you're bored, go sign an artist. Esso and Heineken. If you're bored, go find somebody to get lit. You can be your own businessman to put yourselves in position and find your superstar. You have the power to do it. You have the people around you to get it done. But instead of using y'all abilities, using y'all resources, y'all are sitting down on couches with microphones waiting for this one to come back. And that doesn't just apply to them two. That applies to anybody out there that be talking like he's the only one that can save this. Last time I checked, he's redoing the album again because of what Ben the Don said, that there's too many hits for the girls and he's not rapping. And then the confliction come in with academics talking about you need them hits, bro. He's conflicted. Let me tell you something. Any album that's going through this kind of situation, there's no way it can be good. Prove me wrong. You got to prove me wrong at this point. Because the way everything is looking at right now, bro, it's not looking good at all for Iceman. At all. So, to me, is what it is, man. Is what it is. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I think I did a pretty good job of just breaking down the boredom in hip-hop. I don't know about you. I thought I did a good job now. Holy. Man said I'm about to have 5 whole albums out before Iceman gets released at this point. That's hilarious. Yeah, I think I did a good job breaking it down, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think I did my thing with that one. And that was all off the top of my head, too. All off the top of my head. It's what I do around here. It's what I do around here. So right now it's 8 p.m. Right now it's 8 p.m. Culture United is supposed to start soon. So I want to go ahead and watch that. But I wanted to do this video at least because, like, there's something we need to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Any other video I have, I'm going to save that for tomorrow. You know? So, one thing I'm going to do right now is that I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. I'm going to get this video ready. Definitely going to upload this one tonight. And, yeah, we're just going to do what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? But, look, shout out to everybody that pulled up for today. Very good conversation. You know? Yeah, I'm going to live stream it on a Discord call. What's good, Des? No, it's all good. It's all good, Des. How you doing, though? Hope you're doing good. Yeah, so at this point, we're going to have our little after party in the Discord, all right? So make sure y'all join that Discord. We're going to have a watch party for the Culture United. So if you want to be part of that, Discord link Discord link should be in the chat any second now. But at this point, shout out to the Flex Mob. Shout out to the Shadow Mob. I appreciate y'all equally. You're gonna be there, bet. And we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here, bro. We're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. I'm gonna be back here tomorrow though, for sure. So shoot. At this point, we out of here, all right? Not be right back. Ending soon, bro. Shoot. Anyway, appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for popping up. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's love. I know notifications not working, so it's unfortunate, but is what it is. We're still gonna figure it out. We're still gonna do what we do. Shout out to everybody that pulled up though. Shout out to everybody in the shadows. Shout out to the mods. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Koala for pulling up in the first beginning part. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. We're going to do what we need to do and be outstanding at what we do. So we're just going to continue to do what we need to do, all right? With that being said, take care, be well, be safe, stay true, be you, live long, and long live. Peace. Have a great day. Have a great night wherever you are in this world. And yeah, just remember to be outstanding out there, all right? Damn, it's getting dark outside, bro. Last time I checked, it was like bright as hell. Anyway, peace.